Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm speaking with Abi Mia. She has just shared her newest single titled Shadow, and I am super excited to talk to her all about it. Abby, thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's a better day when I get to talk to cool artists like yourself. So, especially when the song is as amazing as it is. So, this is going to be great. I'm really excited.
I appreciate that.
I want to hop right into it, and I want to talk obviously about the song, but I want to know from you what it's all about. There's some seriously hard-hitting lyrics here, so what's the message you're trying to get across?
Well, I guess I see so many people around me just giving of themselves all the time, including myself. I'm sure we all do this. And the message is just don't forget about yourself, basically. Don't give too much that then you forget who you are and you don't have an individual identity anymore. So it's just kind of a gentle reminder to put yourself first because that's fine. It's not a selfish thing to do.
It's not.
Um,
I fully agree. That's definitely a relatable message, I would say.
yeah.
Well, the song itself is beautiful sounding.
Thank
Besides
you.
the lyrics, even putting the message away for just a moment, I want to talk about the production side of things. I basically want to know, do you have any outside help putting this song together, and how does it really work for you behind the scenes?
Um, yeah, definitely I have help.
Yeah.
So I've been working online, which is really interesting. But it works. It's amazing what one can do now with just being online. But I've been working with a couple of producers actually, and with this one, one producer kind of did the production with the live. There were live strings on it, which I like live
That's
strings. There's
cool.
just something that just has more atmosphere to it than kind of synthetic sounds.
It gives the
Um,
song life, if anything.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I play the keyboard, as you can see in the background there.
Right,
That's
right.
so I record the keys and the vocals here, basically, and then I send it to the producer. They add, we kind of discuss what vibe we want, a few maybe
Hmm.
references as to the style, and then yeah, we put it all together. And then another producer helped me actually with the backing vocals and with the mixing and mastering. So it's just a really good team effort, and it was a lot of fun to do. Yeah.
That's awesome. Is this a team that you've been working with for a while, or do you switch it up from song to song?
So I'd been working with the producer that produced it for a lot longer,
Okay.
and the other producer. It was a newer kind of working relationship, and I enjoy both. It's like nice because you kind of get different things from each producer, and I
Yeah.
think more brains on it is better. You get more ideas.
I think so
Um,
too.
so it's, I mean, I haven't been recording, I guess, long anyway, so none of them are very long-term relationships, but it's really cool to kind of be able to work with people more than once.
Totally. I'm actually really happy that you brought that up because I wanted to talk about your past work a little bit. You've been on quite the roll in 2021. You've put out a ton of music, a ton of singles. I kind of want to know, is there anything, any surprises that you're gonna give your existing fan base till the end of the year here? Because it seems like you've just every month another something.
It has been quite a lot of momentum going through
Yeah.
this year. I had the time, so I was like, right, I'm gonna just go for it.
Yeah, yeah. As
Yeah,
long as you're creative enough and as long as you've got the ideas to push it out,
yeah,
I say the more the merrier.
exactly. And I do have a new single out later in the month as well. So that's going to
Wow.
be my last one of 2021.
Okay.
To round off the year, it's like a bit
Sure,
of a
sure.
pop punk. It's like a happy vibe. So I wanted to end the year on a bit more of a kind of upbeat, happy kind of note.
Very
So that's
cool.
what's next. And then I've got already the next one lined up for next year. So I like to plan ahead.
No,
I'm a
you
big
should. You should. Listen, there's
yeah.
too many artists out there that sort of they just go by the seat of their pants and whatever happens happens, but I'm with you. I think if you're gonna, actually do this thing, you're gonna make a career out of it, you need to plan into the future. And that
Exactly.
brings me to my next question about the actual sound and experimentation. You mentioned that this new one is going
Yeah.
to take on a different life, which I'm
Yeah.
personally super happy to hear. But going forward, as you progress and you start releasing singles, maybe even EPs and albums, do you think that you'll switch up your sound indefinitely, or are you always trying to, try something new or keep it the same?
So I think I realized that I need something that is a bit consistent so I people can kind of hear it and be like, oh, that's Abi Mia. Like I think I definitely
Yeah.
need to do that. And while I do love lots of different things, I do feel like I do need to kind of unify it slightly.
Hmm.
But I think with my music, like the one thing that ties it all together, even with the newer sounds that I'm using in my upcoming track, is the fact that it's sort of storytelling. Always it's some sort of emotion, authentic emotion that people can relate to, and it's like a relatable message usually. So that's kind of what ties my songs together rather than specific genre, I think.
Right.
I mean, they're all pop, but like, yeah, they do have different
Yeah.
elements to them. But I feel like I do need
Yeah.
something to run through it.
I
Yeah.
agree. It has to have that signature touch. It has
Yeah.
to, at the end of the song, they want to be like, yeah, that was clearly an Abi
Yeah.
Mia song.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how do you work on music? Do you work on songs individually or do you work on a couple things at once or whenever you get inspiration?
Yeah, there's no one way I do things. I've tried
That's
to
good.
organize it, but it doesn't really work for me. I do like to just be inspired, and a lot of my better singles have been just I react to situations and immediately write. It's kind of how I process things, I think.
Yeah.
So I try to make the most, even if it's a bad situation. Right, I'm going to get a song out of it at least.
Right.
But more recently, I have tried to write in a more structured way. So like my latest single, actually, I was like, I want to write an upbeat pop funk track. So I did. I kind of really sat down and kind of, yeah, just tried to play around with some ideas. And it kind of really just built from there.
Sure.
But my process is a bit mad. Like sometimes I'll just be on my way, like to somewhere. I'll be walking somewhere and I'll think of some lyrics and I'll record them on my phone, or it just
That's the
creativity
way.
comes everywhere. I'm sure you know. So it's just, yeah.
I find the creativity never comes when you sit down and try to do something. That's the worst time. It has to be at the least opportune time.
Exactly.
Driving, I have no internet, cell phone doesn't work, and then the
Just
perfect
about to go
song.
to sleep. Always.
Exactly, and then the
Yeah.
brain starts go. Yeah, it's the worst.
Exactly.
As far as inspiration goes and influences, obviously this is a fairly new project for
Yeah.
you. I want to know, what was the deciding factor in giving it a go? Was it one thing or a couple different things that put you over the edge to start actually making music?
Like music in general, or like my
Yeah,
last track? Yeah. I mean, probably a lot of people have this. The first lockdown in the UK last March, it really paused my life completely. And I haven't really been able to stop because I run my own fitness business. So that was what I was just very
that's
busy with.
tough.
And the lockdown just stopped it almost at first. So I was like, what else do I love? And then I suddenly remembered I really love music, and it had been something I'd really forgotten about, which is really quite sad. And then with the new time I had, I just started writing and just kind of being inspired by the situation, and just
Hmm.
thoughts that we had a lot of time to think. So it got me going, and then I kind of rekindled my inspirations from other musicians and things, and it just kind of got me moving, really.
Nice. And
Yeah.
then in terms of actually writing the songs themselves, do you try to put a specific vibe to a song based on the content of the song? Or does it not really matter for you? Like you said, I mean, especially for this newest one, you want like a pop funk. So does it have to be more of a positive message to meet the sound?
Yeah, I guess I don't really ever do that intentionally. I don't think. I think it
Yeah,
usually comes together. But it's always interesting, I think, when songs are a bit kind of oxymoron, in the sense that it's like a really happy, clappy tune, but it's
right.
such a depressing song. I always find that
Exactly.
quite
There's
interesting.
so many
Yeah,
songs like that.
exactly. And I think as long as it's good quality, I don't think it matters. Like I'm very
No.
happy to experiment and to kind of, and I'm being a bit more strategic now, just because I'm aware that I don't want my live set when I perform to be very one dimensional. So I think that's also why I'm trying to branch out and kind of make it a little bit more varied throughout, so I have different vibes, so people don't fall asleep.
Fully agree. And honestly, as unfortunate as this is, I think 90% of people don't even listen to the lyrics anyway. They listen to music for how it makes them feel. What emotions are they getting out of it? So, hey, if you want to throw a disco track on there and get the people dancing, but you also want to talk about death at the same time, I say go for it. I say do whatever
Yeah,
you want, as long as
that's
it
why.
makes you happy.
Exactly. Being a musician, you can do what you want. Like that is the whole fun of it. Like there's no
Right.
rules. I mean, there are rules,
Exactly.
but there's no rules.
There's no rules. Nowadays, you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And so now that you have gone through this process of even thinking about a song, writing, recording, producing, and ultimately clicking that publish button, what part of the process do you enjoy the most? From the genesis to the actual finish line?
So writing, I love writing. Like
Yeah,
that when you finish the last bit and you play it through and you're like, yeah, this is the finished song, at least like the unproduced version. It just that feeling I created something, no one can ever take that away from me. It's
right.
mine. I'm a bit possessive when it comes to my music.
You should
Um,
be.
tiny bit. But I also really love the finish, obviously working with the producers and having it come to life in a different way, I guess, with with the final product. Because I guess when I write, historically, I write kind of more from an acoustic perspective, because I write using the piano. I don't write often using sounds and beats. I'm not really a producer. I'm not a producer. So it's always very exciting to me how it can sound so different. Let's say if we add a certain sound, or, I do love that side of it as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, with the whole production side of things is a whole different world.
Yeah.
You could spend years and years and years, and then a new program comes out, and all your knowledge is lost. So I don't blame you at all.
Yeah. I mean, people keep saying to me, why don't you just learn to produce? Because then it'll be so much easier. It's
Oh,
like, what
I'll
do you
just
learn to
I'll just
produce? People,
quit my
exactly.
job and dedicate
Like
myself.
belittling people's
No,
skill sets so
no,
much. I'm
no,
like,
no, no.
people dedicate their lives to production, and like
Exactly.
I'm not going to dabble in it and then insult
Yeah.
everyone by releasing a track which is like awful.
And tell them they
Yeah,
have no idea what they're talking about. You learn to produce, and you can produce my music for me.
exactly.
Forget it. So, on your entire discography, which is growing, like I said, pretty rapidly at this point, is there sort of like an overarching message? Like, what do you think that your music says about you to the listener?
Well, I guess overall it's kind of be yourself. I quite like that vibe in terms of kind of being the person you're supposed to be and also doing what's right. I'm very much like, a lot of my songs have messages, and it's like, stand up for what is right. Don't apologize for being who you are. There's small, like, loads of different ways to do things in life. And I guess overall, though, I guess it is more of just any sort of message that is relatable and kind of approachable. Like, I'm kind of like everyday messages that everyone can relate to, and I guess that's kind of what goes throughout my music.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's all about keeping it relatable, and you don't know
Yeah.
who's listening, but as long as there's a general message coming across, you want
Yeah.
the random person to enjoy it. So I don't
Exactly.
blame you.
Yeah.
Now, are you playing live at this point?
Yes.
You are. Okay, tell me about that. It's always
So
weird asking that question because everyone's in different parts of the world, and I don't know who's doing what, but congrats to you for actually making
yeah,
it work.
I'm really lucky. Like, things
Yeah.
seem to be open for now, and like they've
Hmm.
kind of, obviously there are certain restrictions and
Sure,
maybe
sure.
some going on, but
No,
I
same
love
over here.
performing live. Like, I mean, I started at a time where we weren't allowed to, so it was very interesting for me to then go out into the real world and be like, oh, this is a stage.
All
This is
right.
this is live. I can't re-record
Yeah,
it 500 times.
exactly. Yeah,
Um,
remember that time when we used to have fun and
yeah,
go out and do things? Yeah,
exactly.
now
I
we can do that
completely
again.
time.
Exactly.
But like, I didn't perform before, so like it was all very new. But I love it so much, that energy you get from the audience, and I'm doing a lot of open mics as well, not just gigs, because I'm networking with other musicians, and I actually collaborated with a couple of the. It's just all there's so many potential things to be doing, and like the live
Yeah,
music scene here is great.
of
So
course.
yeah,
Any major city, really, it's going to be
yeah.
awesome. I have not seen a show in London. I've been, but
Ah,
now I'll have to time my next trip for when you're playing so I can see it in person. Or you come to LA, it's up to you.
oh yeah, when
Whatever's
I tour the
easier.
world, I'll come.
Yeah, 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 yeah. On the next world tour, just text me and we'll figure it
Sure.
out. So what is the set list looking like for you? Do you have any covers in there? Is it all originals?
So actually, last night I performed in an open mic. The first time I ever did a cover, which was Adele's "Easy on Me." It was
Oh,
just one of those
geez. You
songs.
just went
I heard
straight
it
to
and
the
I was like,
top.
"Oh, I'm learning it now." it's,
That's really
it's
funny.
it's really up my vocal kind of style suits it. I mean, I don't sound like her, but like I connect with that sort of
Sure.
song. So that's been the only cover I've included so far. Usually the venues want original music, which is much better
Oh,
because
that's
people don't know
great.
mistakes. You can make up the lyrics. No one knows
Really
yet.
funny.
That's the advantage for not being so well known yet. But yeah, I usually kind of get about half an hour. So I do like 6 or 7 songs. I chat in between because obviously my songs again do have messages, and I do like to kind of
Yeah.
introduce them a bit and kind of chat and
Yeah.
get to connect with the audience just from chatting a bit as well. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Nice. And I honestly think that, well, first off, your cover of choice is you went straight to the top. You picked one of the hardest ones. But at the same time, I think that people that do attend those types of events, they're a lot more forgiving. They
Yes.
know you're not gonna sound just like her because no one sounds just like her. So
Exactly.
you're good, and I'm sure it turned out fantastic. Now we just need a professional recording to see, what it
Well,
actually
someone
sounds
did
like.
suggest
Yeah.
that should be something I'm considering, like doing it some sort of professionally recorded cover. Maybe not that one, but I mean, I do love it. But yeah, as another thing to do, I didn't really think of that as an artist. I kind of very so focused on my own music that I didn't really think about another that avenue to kind of maybe get more people to listen, or
I mean, that
uh,
seems to be a pretty popular thing on YouTube, obviously, to get people even introduced to you, and
yeah.
so I say go for it. Um, Now, so one more live set question. I know that, you have a lot of songs to pick from now, but is there a personal favorite of yours that you look forward to the most when you're about to play a set?
So there's probably a couple, but Shadow definitely is up there.
Yeah.
I sing, it's really like, it's not too difficult vocally. I tend to have the habit of writing really hard songs, but this one is powerful, but not too complicated. And I guess because it's more recent, it's more kind of where I am now, more as an artist. Whereas some of the earlier ones, I am already realizing that she doesn't feel as authentic to perform them already. And it
Sure.
hasn't even been that long, but like, yeah, it kind of feels like that's not really my vibe anymore. So
Right.
it's quite interesting. And I've got another new one that is unreleased, but I sung it I added in last minute at one of the gigs I did a couple of weeks ago, and the audience loved it. And you can't always tell, like, it's very hard to tell what people would respond
Yeah.
to. And that one's called Just Too Late. No, it's not. It's called Not Too Late. And it's a bit more soulful. And I think people really responded to that. Yeah.
That's awesome. And it's funny that you bring it up, like the songs that you wrote at the beginning of your career, because think about every single band ever that got famous off of one song that they put out their first month and then they hate playing it for the rest of their life. I hope that that happens to you. I
Oh,
hope
yeah, me
that you
too.
got the fans cheering, play the first song, and you're just like, okay, fine.
Yeah. If you insist, I'll do it.
Exactly. I think it'll work.
It's a good
So,
place to have a problem.
no, for real, it definitely is. So you had mentioned that you were quite the planner, and I commend you for that. So you might already have a true answer to this, but hypothetically speaking, what does the next year of your life look like in a perfect world with no restraints?
Well, okay, so either releasing regular music, either as singles or an EP. I haven't decided. I'm tossing up the idea of now doing
Yeah.
an EP because a few of my songs seem to fit quite well together.
Hmm.
So I might do that. I want to have organised a UK tour, or even started a UK tour by the end of next year. That's one of my big goals. I want to have sync placements. I want my music on films and TV. I want to do everything. um,
Hey,
Basically,
keep the
I,
goals as big as possible.
I'm
Dream big.
aiming so high. Like, I really want to make this full time. Like, that is also by the end of next year, I would love to at least be able to make this full time if I want to.
Yeah.
That is definitely a goal. Like, to, you know, have like be able to do something I love doing so much and, survive off it.
I
That would be
agree.
great.
No, there's nothing better than turning a hobby into your full-time gig because that's what life's about. You don't want to go to a job that you hate every day.
Exactly.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
So considering we are a music blog and we're always trying to put people onto independent artists and basically whatever you're listening to, are there any local artists from your scene that you would recommend people check out, or even something on your playlist that you're really hyped on that you'd like to recommend people listen to?
Well, yeah, actually, at my open mic last night, there's
Yeah,
amazing artists. There's one called who actually collaborated with me. He very kindly played the guitar for one of my songs, and it
that's
just
cool.
changed it so much. It was amazing. His name's Lucas Leo. He's fantastic. He's got a single coming out on Thursday, actually. And there's another musician who I connected with ages ago, but she's in America, but we've really kept in touch a lot. Marigold Ingot. She's an amazing sort of
Wait, that
jazz.
sounds really
Yeah,
familiar,
yeah, you
actually.
might
Yeah,
yeah. It's a
yeah,
small world online.
it really is.
Yeah. So she's fantastic, and just again very individual. Like, she knows what her sound is, and she just does it. And I love her music as well. Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, I've definitely seen that name come across, so good for you for getting in touch. Hey, you're
yeah,
so right, though. I mean, like, I had no idea you were in London. We're 5,000, 6,000 miles away, and
crazy.
doesn't really matter because music is
Exactly.
music.
There's no barriers to it. Yeah, it's
There really
amazing.
isn't. I mean, I always say, as as tough as it is to get your music to be heard these days because so many people are making music, it's also never been easier to make music. You know,
Yeah,
you just got to
true.
quit your job and
Yeah,
learn how to produce music and
and
just
become a PR manager and become
Yeah,
a booking agent and
yeah,
become a yeah,
totally.
exactly.
Super
Easy.
easy steps. Super easy steps. Um, Now, okay, so I know that we talked a little bit about professionally what you're up to next year. Are there any things on the personal side of your life that you'd like to improve for 2022?
That's always a harder one.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess just continue being very comfortable in my skin because I think it took me a while to kind of figure out what felt right to me or to have the courage to do it already, to just kind of be what I was and that's that. So definitely want to kind of consolidate that, feel just, 100% myself kind of thing. And just kind of, I mean, I like to say that I do check in with friends and family and things a lot. Like I like to be that person that kind of makes sure that everyone's okay. And I want that to still be a thing that I do. I don't want to forget that that's very important to me and just kind of, I always like to kind of, yeah, just I like keeping in touch with people. That's kind of a big thing for me.
that's a good one.
Um,
I'm gonna do the
yeah,
same. I'm gonna take your advice because it's
good.
easy to get caught up in your own life and,
It so is like,
you
and
know.
it's valid. It's not like people aren't busy. Like I know people are
Oh yeah, yeah,
busy, and
yeah.
a lot of my friends, unless I message them, they are never going to message me. And
Right,
I've decided to get over that because
right.
otherwise, if I don't message them, then never stay in touch. And
They could
that's
also message you, but sometimes they
they
don't.
could.
Relationships are two-sided.
I
So,
mean, that's what my song "Good Intentions" was about.
hey, there you go.
Name
A
drop.
song that needs to
Yeah,
be written.
yeah, exactly.
All right, Abby, I've got one more question for you at this point. It's how I like to wrap things up. I basically want to know for the person that is going to discover you from this, and for the person that is going to listen to your music for the first time, what is an opening message that you'd like to say to them?
Ooh, well, first of all, thanks for listening to my music. But just kind of, you know, again, I like to stand for being yourself and kind of accepting the fact that you are who you are and you can still be great in your way and other people can be great in their way and not to get too caught up in competition. Like I feel like competition is good to motivate one. Like even if you're not like whatever walk of life we're in, like you can get so caught up with competing with other people that you forget to actually develop yourself and to kind of work at what you're best at. And that kind of is something that I like to kind of spread with what I do as well. So yeah,
I think that's a fantastic answer.
thank you.
Abby, I want to thank you so, so much for taking the time out of your day to do this. It's been a
You're
wonderful
welcome. It was
conversation
fun.
talking to you. I agree. And I also want to let everyone else know that Shadow is out. But not only is Shadow out to listen to, but Abby's got so much more music that is fantastic. So once you go to her Spotify or Apple Music page or wherever you consume music, just hit the play button, just let it go down the list, and just truly enjoy her music because it's awesome.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. I want to thank you so much again for your time, and I look forward to speaking again soon.
Yes.
All right, I'll talk to you later. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Bye bye.